Ну что, коллеги, я думаю, что мы можем приступать. Потихонечку к нам присоединяются зрители. И сегодня у нас в гостях Александра Кондратьева с очень долгожданным вебинаром. Я ждала вашего выступления, потому что для меня эта тема очень интересная. И я передаю вам слово, и I'm all ears, как говорится. В общем, будем ждать от вас интересных лайфхаков по поводу нейроигр и по поводу работы с подростками.
Thank you very much. The webinar is in English, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Here are a bunch of words about myself, only the things that I find really useful for you to know. Good morning. I come from Tver. I'm a teacher, and it's important right now because I've been working as an English language teacher for more than 15 years, which I am extremely proud of because it's valuable experience. It's important to mention today that I'm a director of studies because I've been selecting materials, and it's been my responsibility for more than 8 years to pick the effective methods, to pick the effective course books. Yeah, I'm a mother of 2 kids, and it's really important today and right now because I can look at some situations from a different perspective. It's needless to say that I have been communicating with parents closely as a director of studies. However, being a parent is actually a different angle. Many things actually led me to creating the games of my own, but a little bit later about that. I will show you, I will demonstrate, we will practice a bit. I really need to get a few facts about you. What about you? So please tell me if you work offline. You can use our chat. Just text a few words. Do you work offline? I bet some people do. Do you work online? Oh, I love it. Great. Line. Online. Okay. This is our reality nowadays. Both are good. I bet you agree with me here. Offline as well. Okay. What ages do you work with? Hopefully you find this rewarding, but still. Pre-teens, teens mostly. Definitely, we will have a short discussion in the end of the webinar, but still, everything I'm going to show you today can be used with all ages. It can be applicable. The question is always about the way you perform. 6 and 9, good. 9-year-olds, nice. 6 as well, okay. Do you like what you do? Do you like being a teacher? Do you like working with preteens, teens, adults, and kids? I guess you wouldn't be here today if you did not, right? Of course, sure. Oh, nice. Oh, now a tricky question. Can you say that you have a good work-life balance? Oh. When I just started, I performed 12 academic hours per day. Really? It was my life, so I had a work balance, for sure. I don't want you to do the same. No. Okay, and the final question. What are your aspirations? Speaking about me personally, my aspirations are to make the educational process easy, exciting, interesting, but primarily productive. Productive, like speaking about all the sides. Students-wise, teachers-wise. Okay. My presentation decided to change the slide, so hopefully you have some aspirations. I believe that you do. The difficulty that all of us come across is distraction. Why does it happen? Why do students distract? Not paying attention to specific ages, everyone can. I believe you can name one obvious reason, however, there are many not obvious ones, and I find them really important. So please share your ideas. No. My fault. Wow, 16 years, cool. Friendly atmosphere, motivation, basically motivation. Yeah, that's what I was. Sorry, bored, not involved, agree. Tired, not interested. Yes, agree with you. Tiredness, well, I'm not going, I guess, to say anything new right now, but still, mostly kids are tired because they have English classes after their school day. So definitely they are tired. I would also include their priorities. Come on. Priorities. Yes, you need them to work. You have prepared an exceptionally interesting lesson. You have written a fantastic lesson plan. However, they might be thinking about a new scooter, cookies, cartoons, toys. Yes, for sure. That's okay. That's actually absolutely normal even for adult people. Psychological problems, good. You're going really deep. Age-related features, and I'm not going to give a big discussion here, but still, I wanted to share some scientific facts, and it's more about biological changes that every child undergoes for sure. But in many situations, thank God, only for a period of time, it passes after some time, it's just a phase. In some cases, children have extreme difficulty going to sleep, even if it's 11 o'clock, even if predictably they have had some sport activities this day, it's difficult to fall asleep, and logically it's extremely hard to wake up. So some scientists even spot that first 2 classes at school are a waste of time for them, unfortunately. Just keep those things in mind. Okay. Hunger. That's what I see quite often because parents find it more convenient to grab a kid after school, to bring him or her to an English class, and only after that the kid can have lunch. Public school, I would actually connect it with the comment about psychological problems. I am not against public schools at all. However, some privileged schools, let's say gymnasiums, lyceums, I dare say have a kind of dictatorship, and I have witnessed those things because they make all the students think that they belong only if their results are extremely high. And unfortunately, I have witnessed some kids tearing off their eyelashes, having regular sessions with therapists, behaving unpredictably even during my lessons if the result was, let's say, A with a minus. So I would call it like public schools and oppression sometimes. And distraction happens because there are too many things going on in their heads. That's what we can witness in our classes at schools. And there are some more distractors that can happen at home. Now I need your ideas. Some distractors, obvious ones that have not been mentioned before, because I'd say they're more specific for online classes. So what are the distractors? Gadgets. Gadgets for sure. Treats. Treats. Yes. When the lockdown happened, when the lockdown started, that's what I experienced. My students switching off their cameras and eating sandwiches. And to tell you the truth, I am such kind of person who blames herself. Your fault, your lesson is not interesting. Why is he eating? Come on, don't always blame yourselves. No, 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 no. Okay, so my ideas are, again, it's something that happens unconsciously. You're home, you feel safe, you feel the warmth, you feel yourself, you feel at home. It's good. So feeling of safety, and there are more possibilities to hide. It's needless to say that every desk is a barrier. That's why desks are not that popular at language schools. However, we do have ones, but still. So desk is a barrier. Computer can be a barrier as well. You have the opportunity to switch the camera off and pretend it's not working. I believe you have come across such situations. So then I started thinking, like, how can I make my students get interested? And how can I grab their attention? The most obvious answer definitely was gamification. Well, I guess I'm a fan of gamification to a certain extent. If you look at the photos, it's not a certain extent. It's like top level, I believe. You can see some examples from my monthly reading club. It is successful. I like the results. It's very unusual. It's extracurriculum activity kind of class. It's impressive. I hope you agree. If you look at the photos, it's impressive. Now a story from my personal experience about attention grabbers being impressive. About 8 years ago, we bought a smart board. I thought I was an Iron Man, being able to move the projections, not in the air, of course, touching the board, but still. The smart board was extremely expensive. However, not all the students were impressed. Even at those times, some of them used smart boards at schools, good for schools, I should say, good for schools. Some of them were scared of them. So actually, my expectations didn't meet the reality at all. And there is one huge downside, speaking about all of these, speaking about the pictures I am sharing right now. What do you think it is? What is the disadvantage for the teacher, not for the kids? Imagine you are performing this reading club. You are the organizer. What is the disadvantage? Run out of ideas. That's a point, actually. Wow, effect. Yes, you need too much time to prepare all this material, guys. It's extremely time consuming. If you ask me, I spent weeks preparing for one grammar club. Yes. I had the book, it was Paddington's Adventures. I had the basis, but all the rest, because if we speak about effective gamification, it's not random activities collected together, yeah? There should be one general idea and you organize everything around this idea. Or this is speaking about work-life balance. Extremely difficult. It's difficult. I loved it. I loved the way everything happened. I have already mentioned it was successful. I loved myself. I was really, really pleased with myself, but it was time consuming. And then I thought, come on, where is the magic pill? Where is the magic tool? There should be something. Or where is the switcher, speaking about the attention? Why they switch off? Is there any possibility to switch them on like this? Not spending weeks, not spending sleepless nights. And the first idea that came to my mind was the visuals, because when we visualize, it's easier to memorize. Drastic percentage of people, they are visualizers, so it's easier for them to perceive the information via visual aids. So I used some highlighters. Definitely, I was not a pioneer here. I understand that. But the thing I want to stress attention on is that some unpredictability is always good. So if you ask your students to bring highlighters to your classroom every single lesson on a regular basis, it's boredom, nothing special. If you ask them to do it just from time to time, maybe once in 2 weeks, it works. So a typical example of activities that work with highlighters, it can be spotting keywords, developing their reading skills, and by this, preparing them for state school exams, which is good. Can be used online and offline. It's good. Then I thought, okay, something more creative can be used. And I used, again, speaking about visuals, post-it notes. But this time I tried to be wiser. And I needed to grab their attention during the whole lesson, spotting the new words and jotting them down on each piece of a post-it and sticking these post-it notes everywhere around the computer, the screen, on the desk. And in the end of the lesson, most importantly, that's actually what I needed. I needed some feedback. And I bet you will agree with me that many students are very critical. They are critical to the educational process. They are critical to the teacher, and they don't believe that they learn anything new. In reality, they do, but they can disagree. And you need some evidence. So ask your students to jot down new vocabulary during the lesson. Then, in the end of the lesson, when you have 5 minutes for the feedback, ask them to share, show. It's always good to show, not to say, but to show, to use a pen to put it down. So it becomes more physical. And then I thought, okay, that's what I need. I need to have something more physical. Okay, that was my next step, finger warm-ups that can be used for just breaks, primarily just breaks. I don't see your faces, but I truly believe you will be repeating after me. So that's what you do. And this time it's more neural connected. 2 hands. You need 2 hands. Please work with me. Too much, yes, too much preparation. Sorry, I am quite slow with our chat. 2 hands. Please, let's work with the right hand. Repeat the movements after me. Just repeat. It's pretty simple. A bunch of times. Now, I want you to join to the process your left hand with another action. I bet you're feeling it right now. It's easier for kids, slower for it works slower for adults. It takes adults some time to get used to it. Thank you. Good job. Now put your hands down, raise your left hand this time, and we repeat the same action we started from. Okay, and now, predictably, we want our right hand to join with another action. It was a circle, you see, it's hard for me as well. Thank you. This is a typical example of neural connections work. It's hard. So basically, this is the switcher. This is the switcher. 1 minute is enough because your brain switches very, very quickly from tiredness to something more active and dynamic, from different thoughts and distractors to actually drawing all the attention to the teacher. I failed. It was not easy at all. It was not easy at all. However, 1 minus is like, where is the language? Well, 1 minute is okay. That's why I call it a break. That's why I call it a break. However, especially during offline classes, I add some talking. So it can be a dialogue situation. It can be greetings, some simple questions, grammar drilling if you're doing it. So you can repeat the actions. The students can repeat the actions after you. You see, I fail as well. Hard, really hard. And say something. Magically, there is no place in your brain while doing this to think about anything else, really. So we continue. I started with fingers. Then I call it a life hack. I'm sorry about the picture. It has been cut from my video. Just I find it pretty useful because you can see some numbers. That's what you can ask your students to do during an online class, and it works. It's a good break, and it's an absolutely all-time working refresher. Well, scientifically, it's called the horror chair. No connection with horror, it's just the name of the inventor. All you need to do is to raise the back legs of the chair 2 or 3 centimeters higher than the front legs. I used the notebooks. Some books are pretty applicable for that. This is totally physical interference, and it's a good brain switcher. This position is absolutely comfortable, so you can definitely try yourself. It's a good recommendation for office, for people working in the office, really nice. When you are on the verge of falling asleep or switching off, I bet you know what I mean. So the position is comfortable anyway, but this time your brain needs to find the balance. In this position, you will always be alert, which is good. Speaking about students, especially teenagers and kids, it's pure fun for them, it's interesting. You can do some research because there are many positive aspects. Speaking about the horror chair, it's good for the digestive system. It's actually good for the eyesight. Many positive things. The thing that I needed was the attention grabber, and it works. Then, maybe you recognize some people. Not speaking about myself right now. I thought about TPR. Definitely, I thought about total physical response. You should be familiar with that if you work with kids. And well, some comments about the pictures is that you can see Richard Graham, the founder of Genki English. And that's actually a person who has been working with TPR all his life, not only with kids, which was at the very beginning really surprising for me, but with business students, adult students in big companies learning business English. And the second picture is just the proof that I was there, because the first one, I was the person taking a photo. Yes, these are the pictures from one of ESL conferences. I needed more than TPR, because TPR, total physical response, is basically when you give the physical response to the vocabulary, to the lexis, to the language itself. I could not use it speaking about teenagers who needed to do some drill exercises on present perfect or mixed conditionals and stuff like that. And basically, the major problem I experienced once was when I, an experienced teacher, could not make my students work with pretty simple drilling activity. There were maybe 10 or 15, maximum 15 sentences that we needed to work with, open the brackets or change from the affirmative into negative, something like that. And after 4 sentences, my students switched off. To say I was shocked is to say nothing. Because come on, you know everything. What's up? So I decided that it would be a good idea to use the body. I thought about actors. I'm pretty sure you know about this tip when actors learn the texts while walking. However, I didn't see a point on that because walking is very predictable body movement and you don't concentrate on it all the time. You can't compare walking with the finger activity we did 5 minutes ago, agree? So that's what I did. I actually decided to combine mental activity and mental brain work with unpredictable body movements. However, it's important that the movements should never be a posture, because posture is not dynamic. So just sitting like that, it's not dynamic, nothing special. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. That's what I did. I prepared a very simple presentation with stick men. They're called this way because basically, yeah, that's a very simple figure of a person which is drawn using sticks. Pretty simple, like schematic image of a person. Then I presented the task itself and only one sentence that I needed my students to work on. So guys, I'm asking you not to be lazy. I even took the headphones with me so you can hear me all the time and try it ourselves. Just a second. Yeah, I'm ready. Too many chords, but still. Just a sec. It's okay that I don't see you, but I need you to give it a try, because if you experience, you can feel. If you experience it yourself, you can feel how it works. So you need your students to repeat the movement and good, and to do the task. Make a negative sentence and a question. Yes. So she has been to Greece before. She hasn't been to Greece before. Has she been to Greece before? Then the next one. Oh no. The same task, but a different movement, which is important. He was having a shower when the doorbell rang. Yeah, join me. He was not having a shower when the doorbell rang. Was he having a shower? I presented several so that you can feel that you can use this presentation with absolutely numerous grammar and vocabulary activities. Let it be negative prefixes. Yeah. Pleasant, unpleasant, regular, irregular, possible, impossible, and so on. Let's move further. Okay, second conditional, it's more interesting. Open the brackets activity. If I were you, I would call the police. What else do we have? Active to passive. They gave us free tickets. Free tickets were given to us like that. I guess you got the logic. Oh, the chair. Okay. He asked me if I wanted to visit in. Probably one more. Give a definition. Give a definition to a word. Elbow. It's a body part where you bend your arm like that. Comparative, superlative forms of adjectives. Practically anything. Of course, I used this presentation with one topic. So we had maybe mixed conditionals. And I used 10 to 15 slides with the activity based on conditionals. Only one sentence every time, one sentence for one slide. And every slide had a different movement because all of them should be predictable. If it's squats all the time, nothing special because the brain will actually be ready. And we need the brain to be taken aback and to be surprised all the time. Why do you think the distraction does not happen? Please give me a few words in our chat. Morning fitness, basically, yes. Funny. It is funny. And here, with this comment, you can ask me, will my teenage students do this? It depends on you. It depends on you because as a director of studies, I actually hire people, and very often some students, to be teachers, tell me that they don't want to work with adults because they are skeptical. They don't want to work with children because you need to be, they say, a clown. I disagree. You need to be a star. And many teachers working with very young learners, they feel reluctant about using puppets. I say don't use puppets. I believe that puppets, actually, it's a fantastic resource because you make your classroom more fairy tale style. You use the toys, it's good. Children love it. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. The same about this activity being funny. If you do, they will do. If you sit and watch and observe, probably they will feel uncomfortable, which is quite predictable feeling. I think you should agree with me. And surprisingly for me, some of the teachers I know use my presentation with adult students and with individual adult students, and the age was 51, and the woman loved it. So it depends. It depends. Yes, it's something they don't expect. So every time there is a new movement, not a posture. And basically the brain needs to double the concentration. And as I have already mentioned, there is no place and time to think about anything else. The effect. It really intensifies concentration, and it was a big surprise for me speaking about how long they could continue, how long they could concentrate. Really long, really long. So it prevents from distraction and it wakes the brain up. It does. I started with the presentation and then I thought, come on, I should move further. What about some games? I wanted to create some resources for teachers, first of all, and then as a mother, I understood that probably these resources could be good for school children and for parents. And I started to create card games. Each set has more than 30 movements, and each set has, well, 30 plus, I will explain, 30 cards with rules or terms, because the games are not only English. I have Russian language, mathematics, history. I have some games for schools, for public schools. And I wanted, first of all, to help my daughter to memorize some rules she hated in Russian language. And that's what they need to answer and to know at schools, because they're being asked all the time. But it's boredom. Agree, please agree. It's complete boredom to learn terms and rules. And it worked. Activities, speaking about English games, because I have Maybe on another slide. No. Ladies, I lost it, I guess. Okay, the games are for, yes, the teachers, because it's a good resource. It's a good time filler when you want to have some revision. The games can be used many times. You can use the whole pack, not once. You can actually divide the pack. You can separate several cards you want to work with. My mom will love it. Oh, that's nice. The games are good for parents because parents, I strongly believe that that's parents who give the initial example. Then children can look at their peers, can look at some, I don't know, celebrities probably, yes, and look up to them, but primarily to the parents. So parents can play only once with kids, and then parents can use the cards as material, which is extremely convenient to check your kid. For students, of course. How many words do you usually practice during the lesson? How much time do you spend moving? How many words? I don't actually get the question. How many words do you usually practice during the lesson? But I'll try to answer. I have used, speaking about my tests of this methodology, I have used 15 slides. I have used 15 slides with grammar. Yes, it worked. Speaking about the time, 15-20 minutes, but depending on age. For teenagers, 15 minutes, okay. For primary school students, it can be challenging because it's double concentration. It's not because of the material you're about to not present, but practice, yes? Because this is the second stage. It's not presentation, it's practice, even freer practice. So it's challenging speaking about double concentration. 15 minutes, it can be 10 minutes, absolutely fine. Speaking about card games, it depends on the game. For example, I have English Storm. I call it English Sturm in Russian. And this is the activator of basic vocabulary. And this game is total fun because you need to move and name. Name 7 animals, move and think. So you need to come up with the necessary examples. It's like that. Irregular verbs, 91 irregular verb, and the woman who is 51, she practiced this game too. She loved it. I hope I answered the question. How much time do you spend moving? Speaking about the movements, they are not super challenging. They are not super challenging. So all of them are basic fitness movements. I used to ask my children to inform me if it's hard for them, because it actually can be. Everyone is different. But then I stopped because everyone easily does it. Moreover, I have been organizing neural battles. I have been gathering parents with their children, and there was a team of parents and a team of kids. Parents love it. The last time I had a battle, there was a grandmother, and I was shocked because I thought, come on, Sasha, you needed to inform the people that there are some physical movements. But she was the star. I mean, the grandmother, she was the star there. So speaking about movements, they are not difficult. I believe that 15 minutes is a good time for such a thing. Yes, I do have an online version. I decided that I needed to mention it. Who was better, the parents of the children? That's right, got the idea. Who was better? Who was better? The parents, but I will tell you why. I will explain. The parents, because these battles are quite long. We play for 30 minutes and I know exactly at what time kids' teams will be not that motivated, let's say. So they do get tired. They do get tired. And I usually say that. I even suggest them to have a break. Having a break. Okay. Basically, I am a freshman speaking about leading a blog, but I try to because I have many ideas to share, first of all. I would be extremely thankful to you if you subscribe, and if you do, sorry, if you do, I will give you a really good teacher's guide, which is effective ways to have a productive lesson. If you do so, please text in direct the secret code, which is Teach Me More. And I really need to say thank you to Teach Me More. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. Dear teachers, I'm ready to answer the questions. Do you have any doubts about this methodology? Do you have any questions? Or probably you can share some ideas in our chat, speaking about the activities you would consider giving it a try. What do you think you will use?
Александра, если позволите, как раз, коллеги, кто у нас присутствует сегодня на вебинаре, пожалуйста, не стесняйтесь, пишите нам плюсики в любом мессенджере, но лучше ВКонтакте, мы пришлем от Александры презентацию. Мне кажется, такая отличная будет возможность именно попробовать вам, как это все выглядит на практике. Шаблон презентации, который вы можете забрать и использовать на своем уроке, чтобы вот именно сделать, да, попробовать такие игры и движения в деле и составить вот уже свое полноценное мнение о том, как это работает.
Я прошу прощения, можно я? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
About this, I didn't really get it. For example, if we studied first conditional, and we are going to practice it with these movements, and I have a group of teenagers, like let's say 5 people, how is it going to be practiced? I didn't really get it. So we all get up.
Thank you so much, because I forgot to mention. Yes. Yes. It's a group activity. It's a group activity, and it should be only group activity. Especially speaking about teenagers, and if you have a group of students, because, let's have a different example. You know the game miming. Miming, everybody does, yeah? Miming, yes? You pick a card, there is the word elbow, I don't know, no, elbow is easy to, I don't know, book, and you need to show it with your movements, with your body, so that other students should guess. Is it a good game for adults? Miming, is miming good for adults? It's a question to everyone, because it's like, I don't know, traditional game.
I think yes, they like it. It's fun.
They like it.
Maybe,
Julia, it means
well,
that
not
you like it. It means that you like it. However, one big minus for miming with adults is that they feel intimidated. That's why a good recommendation for such games is to have reverse miming. Reverse crocodile is when everybody works and only one person guesses. The same logic here with teenagers, with adults, let them all work because it's practice. Presentation, practice, production, it is still not production where you need more individual approach, when you need to listen to everyone separately. It's practice. Let them all practice together and they will enjoy it more. You need to think about the words given. Yeah. Your webinar was something like a bunch. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, please give it a try. Yes, and Daria mentioned the presentation. That's the one I showed you. Just it has no tasks, only pictures. Try it. Try it with grammar drills. Try it with vocabulary drills. Why not?
Yes, colleagues, feel free to text me and I'll send back the presentation for you to use. And let's invite another minute for the questions, I guess.
Thank you, Natalie.
Ну, я думаю, да, что у нас пока hope to see you soon. Отличный комментарий. Кстати, как раз, Наталья, вы предвосхитили мое такое завершающее предложение. Мы очень рады знакомству с Александрой и пригласили ее на нашу октябрьскую конференцию в Санкт-Петербург. Надеемся, что получится у вас к нам присоединиться с играми, которые все смогут посмотреть, и, собственно, с теми играми, в которые мы поиграем на вашей презентации. В общем, развиртуализируемся и будем с вами, да, практиковать разнообразные подходы, поэтому ждем, да, анонсов. Как только у нас все будет готово, мы обязательно всех пригласим и увидимся теперь уже офлайн. Будем дальше практиковать. Надеюсь, что все воспользуются возможностью. Пожалуйста, подписывайтесь на Александру. У вас еще какой-то, да, был подарок, гайд, насколько я знаю. Коллеги, всем сделаем рассылку, поэтому будем с вами дружить в соцсетях пока что, и до скорых встреч.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Have a good day and bye-bye.
Bye.